Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you curriculum for kindergarten through first grade. Now, if you've been around here for a while and you know the ages of my kids, you may be wondering, why am I sharing curriculum picks for kindergarten through first grade when I don't have an upcoming kindergartner or first grader for the 2022-2023 school year? Well, if you caught my most recent curriculum picks video, I shared my curriculum picks for my upcoming second grader. And I also shared how I was debating whether or not I was going to do book 4 in the Ready to Read program from Gather Round Homeschool because I wasn't quite sure if she needed it and I wanted to just kind of move on. And then I ended up deciding when Gather Round had their back to school sale that I was going to go ahead and order it and do it with her through the summer before we start her second grade work. Now we homeschool year round anyway, and we have a very flexible schedule. And so I'll explain to you a little bit about how the Ready to Read program works and then how we used it, just to give you some ideas for how you may want to use it in your homeschool. So the Ready to Read program is listed for being for somewhere between kindergarten and first grade. Now, if you haven't been homeschooling for a while or you're not yet homeschooling, or if you do tend to follow more strict grade levels and school year schedules and things like that, this might be a little bit different from the way you would think about using this curriculum. But it's really not for a specific age level and not for a specific grade. It's more for a child's readiness. So when my daughter was 5 and we were doing kindergarten, we chose Gather Round Homeschool for our core curriculum for all 3 of my school age kids at the time. And I loved that it was a unit study approach and I could teach all of my kids together, family style, and it was not requiring separate curriculum for all different ages and all different subjects. And at that time, they did not have the letters and numbers program, which is more like the preschool program, or the Ready to Read program, which is what I'm going to show you today. At the time, their pre-reader notebooks that were included in their main unit studies had that learning right in those units, but they were not quite aligned as much as the other levels were with the actual unit study. So I didn't mind it, but I could see why they came out with something a little bit different. So about 3 to 4 months, I think, into the school year, they came out with the Ready to Read program. And so I ordered my daughter the very first book. So there are 4 books in the Ready to Read program. The first one is Burrows and Holes. So I grabbed that. We absolutely loved it. We took our time. We did not do it every single day. It is designed to do 4 days a week. And it is a 9-week unit, so to speak. So book 1 is 9 weeks, book 2, 9 weeks, book 3, book 4, for a total of like a 36-week school year if you chose to do it that way. We did not choose to do it that way. I didn't plan on doing it that way from the beginning. One of the reasons that I was not worried about doing it every single day is I had planned from very early on to do learning with my kids with a very gentle approach, especially my youngest school age child at the time who was in kindergarten. And so we did lots of nature study and different unit studies, and we really kind of experimented with different curriculums and learning styles that we loved. So we didn't do it every single day. So it didn't get done in the 9 weeks, so to speak. When we were done with that, we did move on to book 2, which was At the Pond, which we also really loved. And we really dug in and included the older boys in some of the learning. And obviously they weren't learning how to read and all of those things, but they were in on like the nature study portions of the lessons. And then we tied it in with outside reading and stuff like that. And so that took us longer than 9 weeks as well. Last year, I had already purchased book 3, which was Ice and Snow, and I planned on saving it for a little bit closer to winter time anyway, while we did some other unit studies and nature studies. If you're familiar with mega bundles, there are lots of really interesting and fun learning bundles within the mega bundles, and so we did a lot of that as well. And so we recently finished Ice and Snow just a few weeks ago, maybe a month at this point, but we really took our time with it. Again, we were not in a rush. We're doing lots of other learning. We've been doing lots of unschooling and notebooking and kind of unit studies that we're just putting together And a lot of this will sound familiar if you've been following my videos and following me over on Instagram, but just in case you're not familiar with all of it, that'll just give you a little bit of a context for how we've used this curriculum and why we would still be doing it. So you could finish this in a year, or you could do it at your own pace and what works for your family and for your child and their readiness and the other things that you guys have going on. So I plan to do this with her until whenever we are done, and then we will move into our second grade curriculum, which if you missed that, I will try to link that video down below that explains what I'm going to be using for her for second grade. So I know that was a lot of intro, but I wanted to give you the context because I get so many questions about advice for curriculum for preschoolers and kindergartners and homeschoolers who are just starting out. So I like to be able to share that thought process in case that helps someone. So reasons I love the Ready to Read program are that you don't have to do any other curriculum with your child if you do not choose to, because the letters and numbers and Ready to Read programs from Gather Round Homeschool do include math, and there are multiple other subjects tied in as well, including Bible, which I really, really love. So I often will do the lesson, which is just one page, which you'll see in a minute, with all of my kids as part of like our morning time or morning basket, because it's always about like animals or the ecosystem or something like that. And then there's a short devotional. So it's really cool for us to still do that together. And then the workbook portions of it, I do independently with my daughter during independent work time. So if I didn't have older kids, I would maybe only do this program and then just fun things that I wanted to do with her. But I bring her in on some of the main unit studies that we're doing, like farming and food and space and different ones that we've done from Gather Round. So I was really excited when this finally came in the mail. Shipping did take a little bit longer when you order from the back to school sale. It does take longer, and they do tell you that up front. So it does take a little bit longer in the back to school sale. So if you ordered now, you would get it sooner. And then it's also always available in digital format. So you could purchase it today, print it today, and start using it today. I just don't like to have to print everything because I do print a lot of things. And this is something that's really nice that just comes printed and ready to go. So you have your teacher's guide, and then the student books are split up so that the books aren't huge. And you get student book A and student book B. And then I did opt to get the math practice book. Math is included, and this is not required at all, and it actually, I don't think is included in any of the other books. I think it was just book 4 that they released an additional math practice, but I thought, why not? Let's try it out. I'll just add it on. I think it was like an extra $12 or something like that. So I am going to move over to the table and flip through these so you can see all that it's included to help you decide if this is something that might work for your family. So I'm gonna start with the teacher's guide. This is so easy to follow, which is why I love this. It does have a note to you to kind of tell you how it works, how to use the book, and how you can kind of plan on breaking down the time that everything takes, supplies you might need. It gives you a table of contents. It tells you each week what you'll cover for each subject. And then it talks a little bit here about the lifestyle of learning. And then it tells you here for language arts, the rule, the sight word, and the blend that you'll be focusing on. And then diving right into lesson 1. So it is one page every single time, which I love. There's always an image. That is the reading. There are talk about it questions so that you can kind of check for their understanding. There is a video break here, and then the Bible connection. So it always tells you to read the actual Bible, which I love. So it does not give you the scripture. I actually really like this because it requires us to get into our Bibles and get familiar with finding things, which I think is super important. And so you'll see you're covering the African savanna, covering lions, which will be super fun. And this I'm gonna flip through fairly quickly because this follows the same exact format all the way through. You'll see that after 4 lessons, there's a let's review page. So that's after your 4 days of lessons for the week. So you could do this on the 5th day, or you could do this at the beginning of the next week, or you could do it on the end of the 4th day, however you choose to do it. And then again, this week we'll cover. Here it talks about how it's going to teach life skills, learning about peoples of the savannah and elephants, dung beetles, review and intro to the week. This is about trees and giraffes, You'll notice that some animals have more than one day associated with them, so you'll go into more depth. Hyenas, review, intro. This is about drought and cheetahs. So I like how it's about a lot about animals, but not just about animals. Cheetahs again, black mambas, review, and intro to the next lesson. I love that there's a prayer break after each review. Talking about the ecosystem, zebras, zebra migration, this particular type of mantis, review and intro to the week, conservation, baboons, more about baboons, flap-necked chameleons, review and intro to the week, talking about wildfires, a Temminck's courser, never heard of that, but it's pretty cute. Rhinoceros, review and intro, safari adventures, ostriches, more about ostriches, malachite, kingfisher, review and intro to the next week, foods, and that's really interesting, Nile crocodiles, cold-blooded crocodiles, warthogs, and finally your review at the end of week 9. And then here in the appendix in the teacher's guide, there's not much there, just references and sources. Okay, so student book A. These are a little tricky to show because of the fact that they flip this way. So I think I'm just gonna do these sideways because if I zoom far enough out, then you're not gonna really be able to see what's there anyway. So sorry if this is annoying, but here you have the teacher's note, some information about spelling fun. You have the table of contents. Lesson 1, the differences between ran and rain, talking about quotation marks and punctuation review. Maybe I'll just flip, that may be better. Okay, this is working on tallies, which we've touched on but haven't done a ton of. Then some geography. More language arts, so learning about compound words down here, long A sounds being spelled different ways. I like kind of the combination between the math and the literacy, so tallying certain words. Then we have some more math here. As you can see, there are a few pages for each lesson. Lesson 2, you're doing some science, and it always tells you the specific subject that the page is covering. So then you have language arts, you have some more language arts, you have math. Now this is double-sided, so I'm not giving you a full flip through of every single page. The pages that you have to cut obviously are not double-sided, but like this one is Bible, this one is phonics, so different aspects of language arts. This one is also language arts, some writing. Here you have like a math review page. This is art. Then we have like some sight words on this side and some consonant blends. Here we have compound words, time, social studies, more phonics, more language arts, sight words, more math on this side with addition, some science and math here, some dictation, more phonics, spelling, language arts. So I'm not going to go through this whole book because it would take forever, but I just want to give you an idea of what you can expect. And then I want to show you like the end of book 4, like where you end up in terms of your skills, to kind of see where they would end up by the end of book 4. So more phonics, language arts, Bible. So you have some copy work, some tracing there, some more math, some more sight words. So let's take a look at what you'll find in book B. So this is student book A. So this is the beginning of the unit. I'll even flip to the appendix for you. So this is where it walks them through the calendar routine. There is a number line 1 through 20. The money that you can cut out if you choose to use this version for the money activities. And then you have your place value shapes and flashcards back here. And that's where you end up. Oh, you have some cutouts for the different pages that have things that they cut and paste in. All right back here for you, labeled for the lesson. There's an answer key, and that's book A. Now I want to show you a little bit of book B, just like I said, so that you can see where it leaves off. Okay, so student book B, in the beginning, here's some of the things that you're working on with phonics. So I'll show you the beginning, the middle, and the end of this one, not everything. So here's some more language arts, some math. Looks like you're doing a lot of word problems, even and odd, place value. This one combines art and math, which I love. More language arts, more phonics and language arts and spelling there. So let me show you kind of like in the middle. Let's just randomly flip. This is more language arts, art, phonics, social studies, and then let's flip to the end of the unit, the last few lessons. So we have more math with money and word problems combined. We have some Bible. We have some language arts, still phonics and spelling. We have more math, double-digit addition, science, phonics, language arts, so some writing, and then math review, and then again, you'll have your flashcards here, cutouts, and that is student book B. Okay, so then we have the math practice book. What I was excited about with this is that it is not a complete math curriculum. It is simply math practice. So there is one extra page of math per day, per lesson. So this is lesson 1. So a lot of it is just review and additional practice with the concepts that are covered in the Ready to Read book 4. And so these are simple, should probably take like a few minutes each, but really just give a little bit of extra math work, which I think will be a nice transition for her because she is going to have a complete math curriculum this upcoming school year. So focusing on greater than, less than, 3D shapes, skip counting, money, tallying, addition, time, all different concepts that they're covering. And there is one per day. And you'll see, and as you saw in the student workbooks, there is already math included in there. This is simply extra, totally not required, but if you want to give your kid just a little bit extra math, then this will give them that without having to pull from a completely different curriculum or resource. So I wanted to try this out, and I'm really glad that I did because I really like the way this looks. It will be simple. She'll be mostly independent with this, which is nice for her. And that is it. 36 pages, one lesson, one extra page per day of math practice. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this flip through helpful and my explanations for how we use and have used the Ready to Read program helpful. If you do have any questions, please let me know down in the comments and I will be sure to answer anything that I can. I did link Gather Round down below. It is still one of our favorites. We still do the unit studies as a family, and as you can see, we have definitely stuck with the Ready to Read program for my daughter, and I'm pretty sure I plan to use it with my next two that will be learning how to read in the next few years. So if you're not already subscribed, I would love if you would subscribe. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, definitely introduce yourself down in the comments below. I love to get to know you guys. If you're not already following me over on Instagram, you can follow me there at rooted_homelife. And I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.